Hello, Simon Jones here from HitFilm.com with a very quick, unofficial tutorial, which is why it's going up on my channel rather than the main one. We might do a follow-up with something a bit more polished and official, but for now, this will do. Okay, so I'm going to be showing off how to do this volumetric light rays effect. Somebody asked on the forum how it was done, and I figured doing it this way is probably the easiest way to quickly get a handle on it. There's lots of ways you can do this. I'm going to do it in a particularly simple way. Like I say, we can follow up with something more complicated in the future. So, let's create some text like that, and I'm going to add on the new 3D extrusion effect. That's new in HitFilm 2. It's in Express and Ultimate though, which is nice. New point, and I'm going to link the extrusion to this 3D point, which then puts the 3D extrusion into 3D space, and we can move the camera around freely. Nice little trick there, works with other stuff like atomic and shatter. Okay, let's increase the depth a little bit there, and I'm now going to add a light. That's directly above, so that's just lighting the extrusion in 3D there. I'm going to add a new plane layer, and on top of that I'm going to add a light flares effect. I'm going to change this to sun glare because it tends to work a little better for this, and this plane layer I'm going to now move down until it's below the text layer, so that's right on the bottom. As you can see, it's behind everything else. Kind of gives the impression of this being silhouetted. But we're not finished yet because that looks a little bit weird. So add a new point, and what you can see here, I'm going to link the light to this point. I'll just zero out the position properties there, and then in the hotspot position for the light flare, I'm also going to link that up to the same point and zero it out. What this means is that the light link has the actual 3D light and the flare linked to it, so that as we move the point layer around, everything else moves with it, rather than having to animate them both separately, etc., which is annoying. Okay, let's just move that back a little bit and up, and there we go. You can see as we move it, the lighting and the flare changes at the same time. So, new grade layer, and this is where the light rays effect is going to actually come in. So I'll add the light rays on like that, just turn off the grid there. Okay, so in light rays I'm going to position this, linked up to the light link point layer again, zero that out, so now the light rays is in the same position. I'm going to change this to none. As you can see, that takes everything out, so all we have is the light rays. Just adjust the radius so that it kind of feathers out a little more and you get a bit more of the effect hitting more of the letters. I'm going to add a blur on just to soften it up a little bit, and then in the layer properties I will change this to probably screen so that it blends with the rest of it. And there we go. And now if we can move around the light link, and that'll just update and work as you would expect, and yeah, it all looks kind of pretty. And you can move the camera around as well in 3D, and you can see the light is back there kind of working exactly as you'd expect, and depending on where the camera is in relation to the text, it's yeah, just kind of works. Now this works really well for this kind of silhouetted look. If you're doing something a bit more complicated, and if you had more of a kind of visible 3D scene going on, you'd have to do something slightly more complicated using set mats to create kind of a luma mat for the scene with exactly what you want to be in it, where it needs to be. I don't have time to go into that right now, because it's late on a Friday. But yeah, we might follow this up with a more detailed one in the future. So hope this was useful, and see you next time.